What advice would you give new and aspiring writers?
Well, what I learned in my fiction course, which I only took one, I loved the fiction course so much. I feel like it influenced my music. I feel like it maybe influenced, reading books, reading novelettes, reading short stories, especially short fiction, influenced my songwriting in a large way. I studied fiction in my 8th grade class with a guy named John Callio, who I'm still friends with, great poet, and my 8th grade teacher many years ago had us reading Shirley Jackson and Ambrose Bierce, Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. And he made us listen to Beatle records while we were studying. He had LPs. He made us study Bruce Springsteen's lyrics and told us, that these aren't just people singing, they're actually doing something artistic with their words. And I said, okay, good. I wasn't playing yet. The next year I started picking the guitar up and I studied with my college professor, Sarah McCauley, and she showed me how to write short fiction. One thing you do is you start in the middle a lot of times. And the lines have double meanings, you write in layers, so you can really thicken up the thing. The story always rides above. I always have a story that anybody could follow, or most times. I do write some esoteric stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense, but to me it makes sense. But most of the stories will have stuff underneath it too, little side stories if you dig in and listen. Metaphor and suspense, not giving it away. When I play a song in concert, I don't say this song's about, and then tell them all about the song before I play the song. I might tell something else and then lead into it. So I would say start in the middle is a good thing. Use dialogue. I remember I had to write a short story that was nothing but dialogue. That was the assignment. Tell the story through 2 characters' voices and don't say anything about where they are or what they're doing. And then once the story's been told through the dialogue, you know what they were doing, where they are, what's happening.
Show, don't tell.
Dialogue is really, really great even if it's a little bit in a song, a little bit of dialogue just sort of puts you right there, and it's got to be real. It can't be flowery, poetic, rhymey stuff. It has to be colloquial, what you would say kind of language, And then it makes it real. The song becomes very real, and you want the characters to be true after that, so keeps you honest, yeah. And don't be afraid to write about the weird stuff. I think it all has a place.
Okay, last chance. Another question?
Okay, this is like a bit of a 2-part question. I mean, it's just 2 questions, but I want to know, how do you write music? Like your process on writing music, not the lyrics, but the music itself. And then I also want to know what motivates you to write in general.
Well, it's an interesting question, and I can start with the same way that I write nowadays, because I'm lyrically, and I love being a musician. I think I've honed my voice over time, and I've worked really hard at the guitar. But I really care about the lyric most, and if I hear another song that I like, it's not because I loved the melody or loved the guitar playing. They could be, just okay vocally and just okay musically, but if I love the lyric, I probably like the song a lot and I want to hear it again. So my first answer to the question is, I usually write the lyric, and then that drives me to want to make the music happen for it. So I get going, at least half the ball is rolling lyrically, and I get excited. That's the motivation, is I got something I want to say. That motivates me to want to then give it some music that it deserves. Some of the stuff's complicated. I never want to write a song like I just played again. It was too hard to try to learn it. But I probably will. I'll force myself and drive myself to that place. It's such a pretty guitar part, and I got to write this really beautiful lyric with Buddy. And so it was worth all that work. But I'm okay with just, straight ahead song with basic guitar. I write in a standard all the time, and I have a kind of a Travis pick style. And so I guess the short answer is the lyric drives me to make the music. I do want to make the music as interesting to me as I can. I can't say that I'm a Mozart type of composer. So I do my best at just getting the level of music up to where it does help the lyric. And if the lyric and the melody are boring me, then I probably need to work harder on it, because I think it'll probably bore the audience too. And then it does justice to the lyric if you can do that.
I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight, especially the students, and I'd like you to have a chance to thank our artist tonight, Michael McNevin.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, buddy.
Close us out with a song.
Okay. Let me play my electric. I got a lot of new ones. Get rid of this now. Okay, this is new. I wrote this in Michigan a couple of years ago. New to me is a couple of years old. Okay. I'm playing it because where you guys are at in your age and your life, you have a pretty clear recollection of what you've just gone through in your teenage years, right? And this is a prompt. I write from prompts a lot, and the prompt just had a guy who's smoking a cigarette. I went far away from the song prompt that I was given, and I decided I would write about a friend of mine who started smoking pretty early in life. And then the amount of time that I spent at his house with his family. So this is a song about, without saying what it's about, which I just told you not to do, I just did it, a slice of a story, of a swath of a couple of years with a family that I grew up with. A good friend of mine, we're all, me and my buddy Mike Santos, we're the youngest of a bunch of boys, you know. Thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. All right. It's called Young Santos. Young Santos started smoking at the tender age of 12. Menthols on the swing set, 3 o'clock to the dinner bell. Latchkey brothers ran the roost, raid the fridge and raise some hell. The Santos house was open season when Daddy drove the Peterbilt. Leroy took the long hauls. A week or two he got good pay. Kept the kids in bikes and shoes. They missed him when he drove away. And Judy picked her battles. She lost them all the same. The boys are more like Leroy, getting bigger every day. She called Leroy on the CB. Come back, Leroy, are you there? We sure miss you, sweetie. Kids say hi. Kids say hi. The oldest had a dime bag trade and $1 million smile. The middle one had a temper fit for any middle child. They both tenderized young Santos in the hallway to see if he would cry. Eventually he didn't, so eventually they didn't try. Mornings on the kitchen phone, her best friend made her laugh. She lost her in the canyon, never quite got over that. Called Leroy on the CB. Come back, Leroy, are you there? We sure miss you, sweetie. Kids say hi. Kids say hi. Kids say hi. Divorces were a fad that year. All the parents got one. Motors, weights, and vinyl. Distractions for the Santos sons. And she kept to her bedroom with her Boone's Farm soaps and sweaters. Judy's job got easy when she gave up altogether. It all went by the wayside, the Friday nights and double dates. And Leroy kept her guessing somewhere on the interstate. She called Leroy on the CB. Come back, Leroy, are you there? We sure miss you, sweetie. Kids say hi. Kids say hi. Kids say hi. Young Sano started smoking at the tender age of 12. He's the one behind the barbecue, living up in Reno now. Leroy landed in Manteca. He's got an acre for his truck. I hear Judy's working down at Casper's. I hear she changed her luck. I hear she changed her luck. I hear she changed her luck. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it.